Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 17th April 2020. Day is Friday, and I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Buddha. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. I think the switch or the remote control with this on and off switch for negative emotions, for positive emotions. When I say positive, I'm talking about happiness, feeling energetic, feeling peaceful, right? All these things and the buttons or switch for turning on this emotions is in our hand. At the same time, turning off negative emotions, and that switch that can turn off this negative emotions like feeling lazy, or I would say feeling miserable, right? Feeling uncomfortable, all these things as well, we can turn it off. For this, you have to do a little bit of practice. You have to observe your emotions, and once you identify your emotion, this is the first step. Then you need to find out ways to work on it, and yes, then you will. If you do a little bit of practice, let's say meditation, then that will help you in controlling this sort of emotions gradually, right? You will have to give a bit of time. It's all about practice and consistency. So yes, when Buddha is saying peace comes from within, he is speaking from a hilltop. He is not talking about theory. He is talking about this practical thing that he is aware about, that yes, it is in our hand to turn on and turn off negative or positive emotions. With this, dear friends, we have total 3 important articles on our table. As far as Hindu newspaper is concerned, I have one more article from another newspaper, very important article. But before that, I would like to share this good news with all of you that we have launched our mobile application, and on our mobile application we have launched a smart course as well. So if you are preparing for UPSC or IAS examination, that Civil Services Examination basically, then for pre and mains you don't have to go anywhere else. You will find everything that you need on our app. And the good thing is that you can purchase this course, a smart course, by installments, right? EMIs are available. So it's not that you have to pay in one shot. You can, pay for a few months and then you can pay for another few months and things like that. So we have provided this flexibility as well, keeping in mind your budget and other things. So do check out our mobile application. With this, dear friends, to download the PDF of today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the first one that we are going to discuss is across the Gulf. This one is about NRIs, non-residential Indians who are stuck in Gulf region. And we are going to talk about so many things. It's about coronavirus, but it's more about relationship between India and we are going to understand the basic nature or the backbone of this relationship. And people are center. Our people who are living there, they are the center of this relationship. Then we have virtual reality. This one is about telemedicine. There are so many interesting points that I will share with you guys. So it's going to be fun, and you're going to learn so many things from this editorial. The last one from the Hindu newspaper is going to be this one: will the aviation industry recover from the pandemic? And the fourth article that I have got from another newspaper, it's about manufacturing, global manufacturing and global supply chain. Again, a very important topic for your general studies mains examination. So these are the 4 topics that we are going to go through. 3 articles that we are not discussing today. First of all is this one, JEE mains as well as JEE advanced. Now this one is for JEE. So I believe 99% plus students who are following this Hindu analysis, they are preparing for UPSC state public service level examination, right? Civil services of various different states. Bank students are following it. Defense students are there, but JEE, I don't think so there are any. So this article, you can drop it completely. Then this one is about our former Attorney General. His name is Ashok Desai. God bless him, he is no more. But this article is basically about his life, about how he used to work and things like that. So if you have extra time, then yes, go through it, have a quick glance over it. And this one is about reviving our economy. Now, the topic is important, reviving our economy, but we have discussed about this. This topic earlier on as well. And this particular article is having a touch of politics too. So this is the main reason I'm dropping it. Anyway, we are discussing things associated with economy, financial world, and business world on regular basis on our StudyIQ channel. A special lecture, daily financial news analysis, has been delivered on regular basis, so you can check that one out as well. Right, so let's crack on, dear friends. The first one is going to be this one, across the Gulf. Now, on your screen, you can see this logo or image. This logo is of Gulf Cooperation Council. Right, so first of all, let me throw some light on this Gulf Cooperation Council, that is GCC. So GCC has 6 countries. You have the list on your screen now. UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait. These are the 6 countries, as you can see on your screen. They are located here. Saudi, you have Oman, then you have UAE here, then this is your Kuwait, this is Qatar, and then you have a tiny country called Bahrain. So these 6 countries are part of this, or they form this Gulf Cooperation Council. Now, this Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, is important for our country because 8 million Indians are living here. That means approx 80 lakh Indians are living just in this 6 countries. And this people from our country, they have played a very important role, and in fact they are even today playing a very important role in the society, in the economy of these nations, in medical field, in their oil sector, in their infrastructure sector. I can go on and on. You will find Indians everywhere, right? When I say everywhere, I mean to say that at every level. If you go to top management, then out of our total 8 million or 80 lakh people, some 20% are there. You will find them in skilled jobs or lucrative jobs, right? They will be at the very top of the management. Then you will find 30% semi-skilled, right, in the middle management. And then you have blue collar workers. 50% out of this 8 million, 50% are unskilled or blue collar workers, right? And as I told you, they play a very important role in not only the development of these 6 countries and their day-to-day functioning and other things, but when it comes to India's ties, diplomatic ties with this region here, these countries here, this particularly 6 countries here, then this migrant workers, right, they are the backbone. They are like a bridge connecting both these parties, the 6 countries and our country. It's like a glue that is binding all these countries together. Now, one more thing that I would like to add here. I'm sure regular student, you are aware about this thing, but for the sake of new student, I would like to say that remittance. Remittance basically means the money that we get. All our NRIs living abroad, they save, every month or every year, they save a bit of money, and they send this money back home to their family members, to their loved ones. So this is what remittance is all about. The good thing about India is that when it comes to remittance, we are the highest remittance receiving country in the world. Every year, India receives on an average $80 billion. Approx $80 billion. If you compare it with FDI, we are getting somewhere around 30 billion, 35 billion on an average, right? FDI per year, foreign direct investment. So nearly double or more than double money is coming from remittance. So relying too much means we want FDI as well. I'm not saying that we don't need any FDI at all, but what I'm saying is that we are lucky to have this big amount of remittance coming in, that we don't have to rely that much on FDI. More than FDI, we are getting remittance. And this is because of our people living in different parts of the world. And particularly this region is important because out of the total remittance that we receive, 40% comes from these 6 countries, right? 40%. We have people living in Canada, in USA, in UK, right? So you name it and you will find Indian people. But the most interesting thing is this thing, that 40% of remittance is coming from just this region. Can you imagine people living in developed countries and they're doing quite well over there? In Western world, Indian people are doing quite well. They are earning more money, but then as well remittance, the biggest chunk is coming from this region. So you know the situation of FDI and remittance now. So this region is important for India from this point as well. I believe we all are aware about this thing as well, or this fact that even if you are a second generation in these nations, you will not get citizenship. You will remain an Indian citizen. So the reason I'm mentioning this thing is if you go back in the history, then you will find that if this region, whenever this region has gone through some sort of troubles, like oil-related trouble that will have an impact on economy of these nations, or you have war-like situation or other situations, then the highest pressure will come on people coming from different parts of the world, like Indians, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and other places, right? So foreigners, particularly, and in foreigners as well, the most vulnerable are the unskilled workers, and we have so many Indians, unskilled blue-collar workers living in this region. So the reason why we are discussing this particular topic is because of this coronavirus thing, and our millions of Indians, they are stuck there at present because they cannot come back over here. Some of them, they want to come back here and they cannot come back. They have documentation issues, and there are so many things going on, right? To be short or briefly speaking. One more thing about this topic, and then we'll talk about few other things associated. This is important thing that I want to share. If you see this countries, Abu Dhabi, when I say Abu Dhabi, is of course a city, but it's part of this UAE. Then you have this Dubai, then you have Doha. These are few places or airports. Most of like people flying from Sudan, so they will reach to Dubai here first, and from Dubai they will come to India. So it's a very important transit zone or transit. It's a very important route for airways as well. And everything at present is in a chokehold situation. So our people are stuck in various different parts of the world because this area is in chokehold, and air flights are not flying at present because of this coronavirus thing. Now, the reason why we are discussing this thing is because UAE government has said it might revise current partnerships concerning labor relations with nations refusing to cooperate with measures to repatriate private sector expatriates who wish to return home. UAE is saying basically that if Indians, if they want to go back to India, then India should accept those people. India is saying that, of course, we are ready to accept it. But the thing is, at present, coronavirus threat is going on. We are busy with that thing. And if people will come in India in millions, then this will create huge amount of trouble as well as challenges, as we can understand. Now, UAE has said, and a few days ago we were talking about this news item as well, that UAE has said that it will support. It is ready to provide support to this countries. If those people who are living in UAE, if they are going back to India, and if they need some sort of support, then UAE is ready to do that. But what we are saying is we are talking about this coronavirus challenge. But anyway, the CM of Kerala, he has said that the state of Kerala is prepared to receive returnees and provide them care. Kerala is one of the biggest provider of human resources to this Gulf countries. Some 2 million people, right? 20 lakh people from Kerala, they are living in different parts of this Gulf region. And then you have people from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Punjab, they are also living in this region. So we have to wait and watch. Let's hope that everything goes okay with these two countries and these two parties. When I say parties, I'm talking about this GCC and India. We don't want to see any sort of trouble between our relationship. In fact, we want to take it to next level. But because of this coronavirus thing, we can see a little bit of pressure coming on this relationship. Moving on to next item, very interesting item. It's about virtual reality. Technology, right? Technology is a very interesting thing. Science is something that is universal, right? You cannot change science or rules of science. They are universal, in fact. But technology, you can customize it based on your necessity and your geography, your economy, your local situation. Now, the good thing about technology is that it is serving humanity at present. May it be discovering medicines or, identifying people, or, they are using these temperature guns to see who is infected with coronavirus or not, or body temperature, scaling this body temperatures. So that is also a part of technology. And if you see you around yourself, I'm not repeating the dialogue of Three Idiot film here, but if you see, he was talking about machines, I'm talking about technology. You will find technology basically everywhere. Even the book that you are using or reading, right, the printed thing on it is also part of these technologies. And technology is going to play a very important role in a medical field, right? Future is going to be of telemedicine. I have I have an interesting idea that I would like to share with you. We will see in future that we have now this phones with good camera and good mic and everything. So you can have your mobile phone. Let's say you are not feeling well. So in this situation, if you are not feeling well, then what you'll do is you will give a phone call to your family doctor and ask for the things that you can do. Take a syrup or something that will make you okay. If you are having headache, let's say, then you'll have a phone call with your family doctor. You can do that without visiting hospital. You don't have to visit clinic and hospital because lockdown is going on at present, isn't it? And people are busy as well. But just imagine let's say if you want to consult a doctor in USA, right? So earlier on, it was only for elite people. They can fly to USA and you have to go through visa and so many things. But with the help of this digital technology, what you can do is, and in future, this will happen. There will be apps, right? Applications, mobile applications. And this will offer you, means whatever disease you are suffering from, you will have a drop-down menu. You can select the disease and then you can select the doctors, some of the best doctors. You can compare their profiles, and let's say you have selected one doctor who is in USA, then you can fix an appointment. Everything will be done digitally. You can share your reports that you have. You can share those PDF files, scan it, and then you can use this QR code, and then that will automatically be uploaded in your profile, and then you can share your profile with this doctor. You can pay online for the appointment, and this doctor, if he wants you to go through some tests, then you can book your appointment at your local city or your local state for those particular tests. And the test results you can share it directly with your doctor. Then doctor will go through it and come back to you. And if you need to take any medicine or something, then your app will connect you to best pharmacies as well. You can purchase medicines. You can compare the price and select the cheapest one, or if you are getting some deals or something, you can get it, and then it will be delivered at your home without stepping out of your room, right? You'd be able to connect with so many organizations or so many various different steps. Earlier on, it used to take you have to go to doctor, make an appointment, and then come back and go to this place, etc. So it was taking a couple of days, but now it will be done in no time. So this is going to be the future. One more thing that I would like to add here, I think this example will interest you. Last year, it was in 2019, when a doctor from Gandhinagar, Gujarat, he executed a surgery. It was a sort of telesurgery. He was sitting somewhere else, and the person was being operated. Now, robotics, he used robotics and other technologies to operate. And there are many hospitals, they are using robotics for precision work, right? Robotics you can have more precision than human beings. Of course, you need a human being. I'm not saying that you will find hospitals. You may find hospitals, they will go for automatic surgeries, but if you have some human beings, it's like flying a plane, right? Aeroplane. There are aeroplanes at present, like they can take off and land automatically. You don't need anyone. We have this advanced aeroplanes as well. But when you have a pilot, right, that will give you a sense of confidence. Most of the things are done now by computer, right? It's all programmed. So flying is easy. But then I'm not saying that anyone can become pilot, right? You have to go through training and you need to know everything about whatever is required. But what I'm saying is that doctors will be there. They will always be there. But doctors will go for those surgeries as well. Like a doctor will sit he will be in his home or office and using this robotics. A doctor from USA, he can ask you to book an appointment for the nearest operation theater where they have robotics and everything. He will go through some certificates and other things for this particular operation theater, and if everything is okay, then USA, the doctor in USA, he can operate you from there remotely, right? So this thing is also possible in future. We are not far from there, and particularly when we are going through this coronavirus thing, this is going to be very helpful, this sort of things. So I have shared, I think, some ideas with you guys, and I believe you got the idea that things are going to be online as far as this medical field is concerned. We have stepped into a new zone, because government has also, central government recently has issued some guidelines allowing widespread use of this telemedicine services because of this shortage in this medical staff at present, as well as this coronavirus thing and lockdown. So these are the things, right? And then doctors can arrange health seminars and webinars and other things online, right? So we can see this thing as well. So you can educate people about health, and doctors can check multiple patients via this online webinars and seminars. Moving on to next item. This article is from a different newspaper, but it's a very important news article for your understanding and for your examination point of view, particularly gender studies. So a few days ago, remember when we were talking about this LPG? LPG means liberalization, privatization and globalization. And we were talking about some demerits of this LPG. So you know how it all started. These Asian countries, India, China and other countries, we offered cheap labor. We offered, this land for a reasonable or cheap rate, raw material and other things, and then rules and regulations, and then other sort of packages were offered. So this was quite lucrative for this Western world, because it's very expensive to produce a thing in Germany, or if you are paying someone in Germany or UK, you have to pay for 1 hour somewhere around £6 for 1 hour. So we are talking about 480 or 500 rupees per hour. In 500 rupees, you can get a person in India work for the whole day for you, right? I'm talking about blue collar job. For whole day, a person will work, back-breaking hard work he will do for 500 rupees for a whole day. And in UK, that job will be done in same amount, just in 1 hour. I was having a word with a doctor back in UK, and that doctor, he was telling me that when you visit a doctor in the UK, then that doctor will, nowadays we have also this thing that rather than writing something on a paper, this prescription, basically they note it on their computer. So this data is collected. This data comes to India, our country, and then it's sorted out, and then they will send it back to NHS, and this data will be stored there. So they used to send this, they have these contracts with India, because over here per person data will cost them, or this sorting out data will cost them 70 paisa, Indian currency I'm talking about, not I'm not talking about pence, I'm talking about paisa, right? 70 paisa, less than 1 rupee it will cost NHS to do that thing in India. And if they do it over there, then it will cost them maybe more than £1, or maybe £2 or £3 per case. So all these things were going on. We have this, this call centers, right? Call centers were quite famous in our country. But now these things are going to end. The reason is because after this coronavirus, the whole world, and particularly these Western countries, they are a bit skeptical. They want to create things in their own country, and I think we will do the same thing, right? If we are buying something from China, then we will, like APIs. We were talking about this APIs. Remember that India will now produce. Will think about, think about in becoming self-sufficient in production of API. The most, I would say, interesting thing is manufacturing renaissance. It's a new era, or you can say a rise of new era will happen after coronavirus. And developed nations, they will use the lowest wage workers of all, and that is robots. They will deploy robots. If you go through World Uncertainty Index, then it increased by 200% between 2008 and 2011 after this crisis, financial crisis. Then when UK declared that it is going to step out of this European Union, it increased to 250%, this World Uncertainty Index. And at present it is said that it will go up by somewhere around 300%. And this COVID-19 pandemic will reduce global supply activity by 35.4%. So we are going to see a big disruption. Now, when I am saying robotics, I don't mean to say that you will find only this robots are not just machines who look like human beings, right? You have this sort of things as well. These are robots as well. This is also a robotic technology, and it is in use in various different developed countries, particularly countries like Germany, USA, Singapore, South Korea. If you go through these figures here, Germany, a global leader in robot adoption, they have 322 robots per 10,000 population. South Korea, they have 710. Singapore, they have 658. USA, they have 200 plus robots per 10,000 workers. And this is going on, and Germany is quite advanced. It's not about just numbers, it's also about the quality of the robots, and they are quite advanced when it comes to these robots. So they are going to go for it. I have an example of Adidas as well. I don't have that much time to discuss this whole case study, but Adidas, they used to produce shoes in Germany, then they shifted their production center in China, and now they have in fact shifted this production center to Germany. Now they're not deploying human beings over there in Germany, this new factory of Adidas. They are using robots, right? Fully automatic production center where you have few people only, maybe 10-15 people are running the whole show. Orion or in China you need thousands of people working. Now you need only one-time investment in this robotics, and then you can have designs, and you don't have to pay any wages, you don't have any sick leave issue, you don't have any other insurance issues, right? So it's a one-time investment. If you maintain, then this thing can go on and on 24/7, 365 days. And there are other industries like chemicals, metal products, electrical products, electronics over here as well. Reshoring is taking place, like the business that was given to China, India and other countries. Now gradually these developed countries will bring it back home, and they will produce it indigenously. So these are the challenges in front of our country. Our whole Make in India program is based on this, offering our growth model is about offering cheap labor and skilled labor at a very reasonable rate and all these things. But this will change, or this will change in future. I'm not saying just from tomorrow, but the wheel is in motion, right? It has started already, and we have to only wait and watch for the speed to pick up, right? And this is something visible in Central and Eastern European country like Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia. These countries early on, they used to rely on their manual labor, but now they are also deploying more and more robots. In fact, they are using more robots than USA. Last one is about, will the aviation industry recover from pandemic? It looks like the answer is big no. For near future, for next 2 years, 3 years, I think no. Many companies will shut their doors forever. They will collapse, or they will go in default because huge losses. Changi Airport of Singapore, they have closed one terminal for 1 year after this pandemic, right? They have closed one terminal for 1 year. In our country, it will take a couple of years to at least reach 50% of business or this traffic that we used to get till now. And many airlines, as I told you, will not survive. Flying now you have to, if these flights will, if they are allowed, then as well you have to maintain social distancing. So you cannot fill up your whole plane. You have to keep a space between two passengers. So let's say if you're flying, early on you used to fly 100 people, now you can fly only 30. So you have to double the price or triple the price of the ticket as well. So it will become a thing for elite only. Only those people who can afford it, they will be able to fly. Just like what used to happen back in 70s and 80s and 90s. In fact, in 2000 as well, till 2000, only people who who are rich, elite, they were able to fly. A common person in our country, we cannot think about flying. It was very expensive, and I think it's going to be the same again. If you go through this IATA, that is International Air Traffic Transport Association, it covers some 82% of global air traffic. It represents 290 airlines around the world. So this IATA is saying that this whole situation will cut industry revenues by a projected $252 billion in 2020. In terms of the bottom line, this is expected to translate into $39 billion net loss in second quarter, and the industry will also burn about $61 billion in second quarter. Then you have to pay for your planes, maintenance, your employees, right? Your machines are not working, so unproductivity of your employee, at the same time unproductivity of your machines. In our country, 50% of our planes are on lease, so you have to pay your money. You have to pay for your parking space if you are landing your aircraft at a particular airport. Then you have to pay for that, right? It's not free. You cannot just go to any airport. There is a fee of using an airport. So if your aeroplanes are parked over there, then it's not like it's not costing you. It's costing you a huge amount of money. USA has declared a total $2 trillion package, which will cover airline and their staff as well. Few $billion will be given to airlines for their survival, but India cannot afford to give this much money to our airlines. So the best thing that we can go for is we have to go step by step rather than bureaucrats handling this aircraft industry. We should we need to get these people on board, experts who have worked in this field. If we can get a specialist on board, they can help us, or they can navigate this airline industry to come out from this economical as well as this challenging issues. And I got this infographic from today's newspaper as well, this Hindu newspaper, that it's going to take more time now. Whenever we will see this airline operations, whenever it will be back to normal, we are going to see some big changes. A few people in flight, and then you have to report some 2 to 3 hours early at your airport for your checking. Medical checking will take place, and there are other things, and fees can go up as well. So that's everything. Now let's crack on to news items, dear friends. Fresh cases rise by over 800. Now things are increasing in 3 digits in our country, right? We are not that far from 1,000 per day, and it is very important for all of us to maintain social distance and respect this lockdown, or else, see, already we have clocked more than 10,000 cases in our country. So things are, and the more cases we have, the more chances of other people getting infected increases, and this is a big trouble for our country. Mumbai runs out of bed in ICU. Patients are suffering, so very bad situation of Mumbai. Indore is also in a very bad situation. The rate has gone up at 12% recently, the highest in the country. And Indore is going to scan each and every individual, each and every citizen of Indore will be scanned. That's what the news item is saying, that all residents of Indore said to be screened for COVID-19. Zoom, an application, it is not a safe platform, has been said by Government of India. So if you are using it, this one is coming from government, make sure you delete it as soon as possible. India eyes record food production, so that's a good news for our country. This year, normal monsoon, because of that, Agriculture Ministry is targeting a record food grain of 298.3 million tons. And in Mumbai, total cases crosses 2,000 mark, 170 new cases. Gujarat is also not doing that well, 163 new cases in a day. And Trump is thinking about opening or reopening the economy of USA. I think it's going to be in phases, and the moment is going to be difficult as well as restricted. But still, opening or reopening economy is a bit dangerous, particularly a country like USA. They have the highest number of infected people. South Korea's ruling party scores a landslide victory. President Moon Jae-in wins again, and China may have conducted nuclear test, has been said by USA. So there is a thing that you need to know, is there's a zero yield. Zero yield refers to a nuclear test in which there is no explosive chain reaction of the type ignited by the detonation of a nuclear warhead. So there is no explosive chain reaction, and that is what is zero yield all about. And this picture is from Wuhan. Sadly, Wuhan's wet market is on now, so that's a big red flag for all of us. And then you have these two questions. One is about Gulf Cooperation Council. Based on their geographical size, you have to arrange all these 6 countries in descending order. And the second thing is about Attorney General of India. So appointment, removal, tenure, role, powers, main job, whether Attorney General can vote in Parliament or not, whether he can give speech in Parliament or not. These are the things that you need to look into, and then you need to post your answer in the comment section. And that's everything from my side. Thank you very much for watching this video. Enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.